Leapsome research found that 71% of managers think they're giving constructive feedback. Only 37% of employees agree. Most of the time, that gap comes down to one-on-ones with no real structure, where important things don't get said and nothing gets followed up on. Today, we're going through 3 templates that fix that: the weekly check-in, the onboarding one-on-one, and the performance review one-on-one. For each one, we'll cover what it's for, how to run it, and what questions actually work. The weekly check-in is probably the one-on-one you're already running, just maybe not consistently and probably without a clear agenda. Half an hour once a week, same day if possible. When the structure is predictable, people come prepared and the conversation actually goes somewhere. Start with how the person is doing beyond their task list. How are you feeling about your workload right now? And what's been taking up the most mental energy this week? Tell you things that a status update never would. If someone is stretched thin or quietly overwhelmed, this is where you find out. Then move into blockers and priorities. Has anything been especially challenging since we last talked? And are any of your tasks taking more time or effort than expected? Are your early warning system? A problem flagged in a check-in is much easier to solve than one that's been sitting for weeks. It's also worth checking in on the bigger picture. How confident do you feel about the direction the team is headed? And do you feel like your work is connecting to the broader goals? These questions catch disengagement early, before it starts showing up in output. Close with, do you have any feedback for me? And how can I best support you on your projects this week? Most managers skip these. They're usually the most useful part of the conversation. The first one-on-one with a new hire sets the tone for the whole working relationship. Use it to understand how this person works and what they need to feel set up, and to start the kind of relationship where they'll actually tell you when something isn't working. That's harder to build than it sounds, and this conversation is where it starts. Get this on the calendar within the first week. The earlier you have it, the easier it is to catch anything that isn't landing. Good questions to open with. What excites you about this role, and what feels most daunting right now? Then get practical. How do you prefer to receive feedback? And which management style works best for you? These give you a working manual for the person from day one. Follow up with, are there any tools or resources you still need? And do you feel prepared to handle your workload and expectations so far? New hires won't flag gaps on their own. Asking directly is how you find out before something becomes a problem. Close with, what are your biggest goals for your first 30, 60, and 90 days? It sets shared expectations early and gives you something concrete to revisit in your next few check-ins. The performance review one-on-one is built around documented goals and ongoing feedback, not just the last few weeks. This is what separates it from a check-in. Go in with the goals from the previous cycle and any feedback shared since then. Walk through what was achieved, where things were hard, and what comes next. Let the employee lead more of that conversation than you might expect. Their read on their own performance is often more accurate than managers anticipate. On overall performance, ask, what accomplishments are you most proud of this period? And which goals were most challenging and why? These open up the conversation before you share your own assessment. On development, ask, where do you want to focus your growth over the next 6 months? And are there any learning opportunities or resources you'd like to explore? Lack of career growth is one of the top reasons people leave their jobs. These questions signal that development is a real priority, not just something that gets mentioned once a year. And before you close, how can I better support you going forward? And do you have any feedback for me? Even in a performance review, the conversation goes both ways. This is where Leapsome comes in. The meetings tool gives you templates for all 3 types of one-on-ones already built out. You open the template before the meeting, work through it together, take notes as you go, and everything gets saved automatically alongside your goals, feedback, and performance data. No switching between tools, no hunting down notes before a review. When a performance review season comes around, you'll have a full record of the year's conversations to work from, which makes those discussions a lot more grounded. You don't need all 3 templates from day one. Start with whichever one fits your next meeting and build from there.